How's it going, everyone? I am Walter the Film Hermit, and welcome back to my channel. I haven't made a video for like about 3 months now, so I need to catch up on a lot of the movie news that's been going on. If you like my channel, I really want to thank all of you for been watching my videos. If you can please like, comment, subscribe, helps the channel so much. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit about the movies I watched for Thanksgiving, the night before Thanksgiving anyway. I had a little bit of time to watch a couple movies. I went to a couple of classics. I decided to watch The Godfather again on 4K. Now, I've talked about this movie a couple times this year. This is the trilogy 4K box set that came out earlier in the year. Gosh, it seems like it's been longer than that, but it was this year. I didn't watch the first film on disc because I saw the first movie at the theater at AMC. They had it in Dolby in the early part of the year. So this is the first time I watched it at home. So I watched, well, I mean, I've seen the movie plenty of times. The first time I watched the 4K at home. So this transfer is absolutely beautiful. You haven't had a chance to check it out. And as you guys all know, this is the Best Picture of 1972. It is directed by Francis Ford Coppola and stars Marlon Brando and Al Pacino. Now, I watched this movie on my system, and I also watched a reaction. You probably heard of, it's a very popular channel on YouTube, Popcorn in Bed. This is the first time that she actually watched this movie, and it was very entertaining to watch the movie and see how she reacted to it. It's a thing that you do that I discovered from YouTube where you can actually watch someone else watching a movie for the first time. So that way it's like if you've seen it lots of times, you can see someone reacting to it for the first time. So that can be a lot of fun.
The heck? Oh my gosh!
I'm gonna leave a link to it in my video. But yeah, I watched Cassie's view of it. It's actually really funny because there's a moment where she's watching the video and she discovers that Al Pacino is Michael and she can't remember his name.
Have a meeting with me, right?
Oh my gosh.
It will be me, Husky, and Soletsa.
It's the guy from Scent of a Woman. So young. I could tell by the voice. What's his name?
Now, we
It's a very
insist
famous
public
name.
place,
Famous
someplace
Italian name.
where there's people, so I feel safe.
Patchouli. Paciniano.
I couldn't stop laughing. But anyway, if you haven't picked this copy up, it's been discounted quite a bit since it originally came out. You get all 3 Godfathers in this set. And for this video, I'm introducing a new segment where I call it I'm Done, which means basically now that I have a 4K copy of the movie, I'm not going to be buying any more copies of this movie for as long as I'm around. And I'm going to try to phase out any older copies that I have because I just don't need them. And I'm kind of bursting at the seams here. There's just not enough room for all these movies. So the only other copy of The Godfather that I have left is the Blu-ray copy of the trilogy. And when I've done my research, it looks like all the bonus features on this edition are now on this edition. And quite frankly, I was going to keep it for sentimental value, but I don't really have rooms for sentimental value, so some stuff's got to go. So I've decided that once the holidays are over, this is either going to be traded, sold, or given away because too many copies of the same movie is just taking up too much space. So first segment of I'm Done, The Godfather original Blu-ray copy is going to be on the recycle stack. But if you haven't seen this film, now's a good time. One really interesting thing about the reaction that Popcorn in Bed did, Cassie, she talked about how she always thought that it was a guy's movie. And whenever I see women react to the movie, they usually really like it more than they expect to. And that's just really, really interesting. So definitely recommend the reaction video. Definitely recommend the movie if you haven't seen it. It's just the 50th anniversary. If you haven't seen it, now's the time. It's a movie I kind of grew up with over the years. The first, I might have mentioned this in another video, but the first Godfather I ever saw was the third one. It was back in 1990. And I was a little too young for the first 2 when they came out. Because I think the second one came out like a year before I was born. I got to double check that. That was 74, 75. But anyway, I hadn't seen the first 2 movies, but I saw the third one not knowing anything that happened before, but I was always a fan of Al Pacino and I just really enjoyed the movie. I know a lot of people give a lot of hate to the third one and it's not as good as the first 2, but I always liked that third movie. So definitely recommend that set. Moving on to the next movie I watched the day before Thanksgiving is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which just got a 4K release. Now, a lot of people online are talking about this transfer and that it's not the best 4K transfer, and they're right. Some of the shots are really soft. And one thing I noticed about this edition is that it doesn't say that it has a Blu-ray, it just says 4K and digital code. But there's a Blu-ray in here. And I was pleasantly surprised when I opened up that there's a Blu-ray in here. Paramount's been hit or miss when it comes to putting Blu-rays in the releases. A lot of the catalog titles, they don't do it, but it looks like in the last minute they decided to put it in here. And I think that when it comes to this movie, I'm not always going to be watching it on the biggest screen, so I think the transfer was fine enough. It's hard to believe it's been so long since this movie came out, because it was always a big part of our Thanksgiving viewing watching. Like, I always been a big fan of Steve Martin, and of course John Candy. He's definitely still missed. Love this movie, so much fun. This one's directed by John Landis, and he's written and produced by him as well. There's actually a really cool featurette that they shot back in 1987 where it was like an interview of John Candy and then John Landis. And did I say John Landis or should it John Hughes? John Hughes. Sorry, getting a little older. Names get mixed up. So definitely directed by John Hughes. So John Hughes and John Candy and Steve Martin, they just talk about the film, and it's kind of like a press kit where they talk about what the movie's about and how it's so great to work together. It was really interesting to see. So also this came with a slipcover too. So this is going to be added to my collection, of course, and then I'm going to be removing the Blu-ray from my collection. Now, this movie came out in 1987, and I hadn't owned it on physical media until I picked up this Blu-ray a few years ago, and I don't think I ever watched it. I don't think I've watched this movie in many, many years. But I remember I got it at a discounted price. I didn't get the slipcover, didn't get the steelbook. Now that I have the 4K edition, unless they do like a remastered version of this where they fix some of the shots, I'm gonna say I'm done with this one too. And I'm gonna get this copy put on the recycle bin. So don't need the Blu-ray DVD edition anymore, because now I have a 4K edition that has a Blu-ray and a 4K in here. This movie is really, really hilarious. If you've seen a lot of the John Hughes films, and you will see a lot of character actors that were in his other movies, like the dad from Ferris Bueller and a couple other faces, like, oh, you were in Ferris Bueller, oh, you were in She's Having a Baby. And of course, Kevin Bacon has a cameo in this. Also, I did watch the Cassie reaction to this too. They actually did this last year, so that made that fun to kind of see the reaction of someone who's never seen the movie versus someone like me that grew up with it. So this is one of the few Thanksgiving movies that you can pick up. So if you haven't seen this, I definitely recommend it. So that's my first segment of I'm Done. So there's 2 copies of 2 older movies that are going to get recycled out of my collection. So there's only a few thousand more that need to go. So let me know, are you phasing out old editions of your movies out of your collection when you get new ones? How are you managing collections? Just please put it in the comment section. If you like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel so much. Again, have a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.